So, fun fact, one of the reasons my videos have been a little bit sparse over the last month or so is I've actually been finishing a book. And I've been working on this book really diligently actually for several months, but then the last 2 months have been particularly intense. It's a book about how to fight back against critical race theory. It's going to cover all different ways you can fight back. It's got concrete examples and case studies and things you need to know and all this stuff. And to be honest, when I was writing it, I reached a limit is to the amount of critical race theory that I could think about or talk about in a given day. But luckily, yesterday morning around 4 a.m., I finished the book. I slept a few hours. Then I sent the book off to the publisher at around 11 a.m. and it was off my plate. And yesterday evening was the first evening I've been able to spend with my husband in the past 2 months on the couch watching TV like normal people. And it's over. And what that means for you guys is that I will be returning to my primary coverage area, which is all things woke and critical race theory, because we need to understand what is going on and we need to understand what these people are doing in order to fight back. I really just have not had the mental bandwidth to think about critical race theory for 16 hours a day for 2 months straight. And if you've ever tried to do that, you will descend into madness in the doing of it. And the book was just more important to me at that particular moment. So, by the way, guys, more information is going to be coming about the book. I just turned it into the publisher. There's going to be like a whole little pre-sale period. It's going to come out next year. It's going to be awesome. But for right now, we can keep up with what's going on in the world. And stories like this are just one of many reasons why I had to limit my amount of critical race theory intake. Minnesota fourth graders are told not to tell their parents about equity survey on race and gender or skip questions, even if they don't understand them. So apparently a group of fourth graders at a school in Minnesota were required to take an equity survey. Let's see, fourth graders are how old? You start kindergarten at 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 years old. Not even in double digits yet. And they're already taking equity surveys, and this is part of the problem. Listen, to be serious for a second. The schools are so screwed. The schools are totally and completely, we are so screwed when it comes to public schools, because even if you stopped teaching every negative, bad, destructive ideology right now, and you forbid any teacher from ever teaching this stuff again, and you put safeguards in place to force these teachers to never, ever, ever teach this stuff again, here's how screwed we are. Almost every single teacher in public schools today has been trained to be a teacher by someone who is completely bought in to the core tenets of critical race theory. And not only was their teacher trained by them, was every teacher out there in public schools today almost trained by someone like that, but every single teacher trainer, every single person teaching in every single school of education, almost the large majority, were also trained by someone who buys into the core tenets of critical race theory. And so, in order to eliminate the problem in the public schools right now, we not only need to retrain an entire generation of teachers, we also need to retrain an entire generation of teacher trainers. That means it's an unfixable problem. The public schools are not fixable. And this type of nonsense is going to continue to go on as long as we do not have widespread school choice and, frankly, a revolution in public education in this country. I was never one of those people that was for school choice or vouchers or any of those things. I thought, you need to invest in the public schools because the teachers deserve every opportunity to be successful. Well, no, they don't deserve every opportunity to do this. And so far as I'm concerned, they've lost their privileges. We need to completely rethink the way public education is done in this country. There is no way around it. We will not defeat this problem until the public education system is thoroughly and completely dealt with. That's why the bans are not the only thing that's going to work. We have to work on culture change. Let's read about what happened, shall we? A class of fourth graders in Minnesota were given an equity survey about race and gender, but were allegedly told by their teacher not to tell their parents about the questions that they were asked, even if they didn't understand those questions. The survey was conducted at Riverview Intermediate School in the Sartell St. Stephen School District in Minnesota by the Equity Alliance of Minnesota, and comes amid a national debate on how to teach history and current events, specifically focusing on matters of race. Student Haley, addressed the school board on July 19th and told them she felt very nervous and uncomfortable when her teacher instructed her not to talk to her mother about the survey. She also says that she was not permitted to skip any questions, even if she didn't understand them, in a video of the meeting provided by Alpha News. I was chatting with someone the other day whose son got into, I believe it was like the University of Oklahoma, was so excited to go to the University of Oklahoma and was doing some intake forms on the website to finalize their registration. And they were asked to pick out their gender. And there was a drop-down list of like 85 different genders to choose from. Maybe it wasn't 85 exactly, but it was some, absurd, like several dozen absurdly large number of different gender identities. And when the drop-down came and the student saw it because he was raised in a relatively conservative family, he said, I can't do this. I'm not doing this, and ended up actually enrolling in a different school because of it. Let's see. One question said, do you currently identify yourself as female, male, transgender? Transgender people have a gender identity or gender expression that's different from their assigned sex. For example, they were born male but now identify as female, or something else. Now, do you see how that question might be, let's say, confusing for 9-year-olds? 9. A young boy in Haley's class asked the teacher if his mom could explain the question to him. The teacher denied the student's request, telling him that he could not ask his mother and that the class was told not to repeat the questions to their parents. Haley spoke at the school board to let them know how uncomfortable and nervous this made her, as she explained that her mom always tells her she can tell her anything, but also tells her she can trust her teachers too. Yes, and Haley's mother is wrong. Haley's mother is wrong about telling Haley to trust her teachers. I'm sorry. I know that's a very nice, cushy message to send to children, but the message you need to be sending to your children is, you tell me what the teacher's telling you to do, and you come show me your homework, and we'll work on it together. That is a much more appropriate message given where we are in the world. Haley spoke, she said being told to hide this from her mom made her feel very uncomfortable, like she was doing something wrong, as it should. Haley's mom, Kelsey, told Fox and Friends, "We were told that this equity audit was going to be taking place, but they didn't tell us the day it was taking place. We weren't really sure about the details behind it. Due to the lack of transparency from this school district and Equity Alliance for Minnesota, the third party, we were not informed of the questions on the survey." She added that she was very upset when she learned that her daughter was told not to share the questions with her parents. She said, "This should pose great concern in any parent's eyes." Yes. She was informed that this instruction came from the Equity Alliance of Minnesota and school administration and was not a singular decision made by the teacher. Well, that should actually concern you even more, because why is the school administration telling teachers to instruct students not to tell their parents what's going on in class? You know what would really solve this entire affair? Cameras in classrooms! Cameras in classrooms would solve this entire affair. Now, luckily, we have Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire, who is leading the charge on cameras in classrooms. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Matt hasn't done shit since he went on Tucker Carlson and talked about it. But listen, there are actually people working on cameras in classrooms. I'm working on it in my home state of New Hampshire and nowhere else because I'm waiting for Matt Walsh to lead the charge. But I'm sure there are other people out there that would like to do this as well. I really do think that putting cameras in public school classrooms could be the game changer that burns down this entire system. I'm very much in favor of it. And I'm going to be getting a bill in my home state of New Hampshire, so I hope the rest of you have Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire to back you up, because God knows he's more passionate about this issue than anyone else and never, ever, ever steals people's talking points on the internet. All right, guys, that's all I have for right now. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, you're going to love my Locals community. Locals is the only place on the internet that actually keeps me sane with normal, non-trolly people. We do lots of stuff in my Locals, like our twice a week Zoom calls. I actually have one in about an hour and 15 minutes at 6 p.m. today on Tuesday. We do one on noon on Thursday. We do debate club. We do book club. We do all sorts of stuff together as a community. And, you also support my work in the progress and make it so I can still do stuff like this and run my Locals and write books and do other things. If you want to check it out, you can join monthly at $5 a month, or you can get 2 months off by joining at $50 for the entire year. I promise you there's lots going on and there are no trolls. It's so nice. All right, guys, that's all I have for right now. I'll see you soon.